What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The second and final weekend of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta is now over, and we've all gotten our first taste, that tester, of what we're going to be in for the remainder of the Call of Duty year when it releases on October 25th. Now in the video I'm going to be talking about, again, what went right, what went wrong. Now, as many of you may or may not have seen, Treyarch actually broke their silence for the first time regarding any information surrounding the beta since the release. Now, a tweet put out by Charlie Intel confirmed that this year there is no early access for the campaign, as they are fully focused on releasing the full game with all modes to everyone at the same time, which I think is a strange one, as the last few years of Call of Duty we've gotten the preview and early access a week before for the campaign. This gave people a little tester for the full release, got used to the guns, the movement, could mess around with their settings. But I think what happened was how bad the previous game's early access campaign felt and how little time was put into it. Now I'm not sure whether that's a sign that Black Ops 6 campaign is going to be bad as well and not live up to the expectations, but hopefully on the full release we can see the campaign actually be good for the first time in a long time, because I haven't enjoyed playing the campaign in any of the previous Call of Duty games. I'm a big fan of them releasing the campaign early, personally, because it allows you to play the campaign freely without having to worry about leveling up in multiplayer, keeping up with people. Because this change may now cause players to ignore the campaign mode fully for the first few weeks, months, whenever they feel they have time to get around to playing it. As a lot of people, majority of players are just your average everyday person who goes to work, goes to college, school, so they won't have time to play the campaign, play zombies, play multiplayer, do all of this. So players don't want to fall behind, obviously, in the multiplayer progress and behind in figuring out the new Omni movement fully, especially on the first few weeks. So you're going to get that FOMO of people not wanting to play campaign. Instead they're going to play multiplayer, level up, level their weapons up, do the camo grind. Same with zombies. They're missing out on that grinding the zombies game. Personally, that's what I'm going to do over playing the campaign, because obviously I'm a big zombies fan. I don't want to miss out on the Easter egg coming out in the guided mode, because we know you get them extra rewards for finishing the Easter egg before that guided mode comes out. So there's just a lot of other aspects to take into account before playing the campaign. So I think I'm going to try my best to get it played. I'm hoping it will be good. I'm going to try to avoid any spoilers, because there is going to be content creators tailoring their content towards just mainly campaign focused stuff for the initial release of Call of Duty. So I'm going to try to avoid any of this. Now, there was also a tweet put out by Treyarch which was later deleted maybe 4 to 5 minutes after they put it out, and it was regarding the maps. Now in quote it said, "For those curious about our map size variety at launch, majority of the 66 core maps are all medium size, similar to those of Raid and Summit." They then go on to list out all 16 maps and filter them by size. However, when you're reading through the names, only 7 of the maps are classed as medium and 9 are classed as small. Now I'm no mathematician, but to me 7 medium maps and 9 small maps is definitely not majority medium maps, as they said at the start of the tweet. And for some reason they have Scud in the same category as the likes of Babylon. Babylon is the newest map of this weekend's beta, and it is by far the smallest map we had. So how is Scud getting put into the same category as Babylon? I'm not sure whether they're taking the strike maps into consideration in this. It's very confusing tweet, which I'm guessing is why they then further went on to delete it. I need to talk about the spawns in this game, because at the moment they are abysmal. I know it's the beta, it's only the tester for us, and they use the beta to find all these issues and fix them to make the game a better experience for us on release day. But Babylon was really getting on my nerves with the spawns in either corner of the map, around the C flag and the A flag in domination, or the hard point, or on hard point, because the spawns on hard point always have just been messed up in Call of Duty. You could have someone sitting in the corner of both spawns at the C and A flag and domination, and people would just spawn right in front of them. So if they're sitting there with an LMG with extended mag 2 on, They're just holding that R2 button down and just drilling you, getting streaks. So then there's a chopper gunner flying around the map and an Overwatch helo. So then the spawns are you're just dead. Walking out of spawn, you're just dead regardless. On the complete opposite end of the scale, you have the map Rewind. I wasn't the biggest fan of the map Rewind in the first weekend of the beta, and I honestly didn't really get it too much. People must not enjoy it either because they just weren't voting for it on the map phone. But you could spawn in the car park and be running for a good 10 to 15 seconds before you even see an enemy, because everyone is just sitting around that department store. No one really goes down the garage side other than when the hard point is on it. The spawns, like, there's no consistency. Like in one map you can be spawning on top of enemies, and the other map you're running around for the guts of 10 to 15 seconds before you even find anyone. And then when you do find someone, it's 2 or 3 people sitting on head glitches, so you're dead. So you have to fly back down, spawn back in, and fly all the way back down them 10 to 15 seconds again. There's just no consistency, and we need to see that change for the full release of the game. Now, weekend 1, we know the level cap was capped at level 20. But now we can level up from level 20 all the way up to 30, unlocking new perks, field upgrades, score streaks, some new beta rewards such as some calling cards, a new XM4 variant, the Bug Smasher, and finally the TANTO 22, which we'll discuss further in this video. I'm actually quite happy where weapon XP has progressed to, as it has definitely been buffed and we can feel it. As last weekend I feel like I felt it took forever to unlock the final few attachments, especially the fact that I was using the Jackal and the Ames majority of the weekend, and I still just didn't reach the final few levels and get them last few attachments I wanted to use, like the ergonomic grip for the Jackal. And obviously I know that's down to me as well, not playing the game as much as I probably should have to get them unlocks. This is definitely a positive for players, because it allowed them to experiment with more attachments, come up with different variants for their weapons, and just have fun over the weekend. I know there's going to be more attachments in the full game, and we'll have to level the guns back up again. But it was just fun being able to change up what attachments, and not only have to be stuck to the same few because we don't have them unlocked. Now, there was a few changes made to movement. It was slightly slowed down and fine-tuned, but honestly it's nothing too game changing. I didn't really feel any major changes that I could notice anyways. Maybe if you went on and compared footage from last weekend's beta to this weekend, I put a timer on how long it took to stand back up after sliding, after diving, but personally I didn't feel any proper major changes. However, the frog hop movement was nerfed, thank God, because that movement was crazy, as it was a move where you slid into a drop shot and spam jumped backwards, which then changed your hitbox a total of 3 times, and the animation of the move, it just threw off players' aims because it was so unorthodox, and you just honestly were not expecting it. It's nothing like we've ever seen before. I personally really enjoy the Omni movement. Maybe that's because I'm a fan of Black Ops 3. That was probably my favourite Call of Duty of all times, where I spent the most hours on, played the most games, zombies, multiplayer. Didn't really enjoy the campaign too much, but like, that Call of Duty went down really well with people, and the movement and that was crazy. The jetpacks, the slide jumps, everything. So I'm not quite sure why some people aren't that big a fan of the Omni movement. I know it makes the game more fast paced. Some people may be tailored to slow paced games, but that's not what Call of Duty is. Especially the Black Ops games. The Black Ops are very arcadey and give you just that real arcade shooter feel where you can just run around the map, run and gun, not have to worry about too much realism in the game. It's just more of a fun time rather than strategic gameplay in Call of Duty. The Jackal PDW received the nerf that it deserved and needed, and that is great news for the whole game. As last weekend the kill feeds were just filled with Jackals coming in. No, don't get me wrong, this weekend it was still very popular, as I feel like it's still the best gun for movement, but it doesn't hit as hard as it did at long range last weekend, and that's only a positive for me. But as one gun is nerfed, a new broken gun comes in to replace it, and you can see it in this game footage that has been going on. It is the TANTO 22 SMG that you receive for reaching level 30 in the new progression system. It is an SMG that hits heavy, as it has a slow fire rate, but a lot of the times if you're in the right distance, you're eliminating your enemy in 3 to 4 bullets. It's broken. I'm not going to be surprised if that receives a little patch maybe make the fire rate a little bit slower. It's very slow as it is, or just decrease the weapon damage, because I feel like it's going to dominate the opening weekend of the full release of the game. Now, the last thing I want to talk about regarding the whole weekend 2 of the beta is my favourite new addition, which was the field upgrade of the sleeper agent, as I love being able to deceive the enemy and put together a few kills with the knife. As when you shoot with the gun, you're revealed to the enemies, I feel like, if they're in distance with you shooting. So being able to run around with the knife, sneak up behind people, put together 3, 4, 5 kills maybe if you get a good flank on them, and also being able to put them into body shields as you sneak up behind them is very fun, and just take them out that way. That's also the body shields I really like in this game, especially mixed with the proximity chat. I'm so glad that they added proximity chat to that, and hope they keep it in the game. So overall, after the 2 weekends of the beta, personally I'm very happy. Call of Duty Black Ops games are my favourite Call of Duty games, as I love that arcadey feel, the fast paced shooter, and although the skill based matchmaking is there and it's obvious, it's still good. The game is still good, fun to play. I enjoy being able to use different guns. Any gun like I feel is good, from the LMGs to the SMGs. The snipers do need a buff, I feel, as the flinch it's too hard. It's so hard to, even when you aim in, you have that little aim and sway that where you aim in, it's kind of going to the right, to the left, a bit down. But this all come in time. The game is going to keep updating, keep getting better, and I only have positives for it. I'm looking forward to the zombies. I'm a big zombies fan, big multiplayer fan. So let's just see what the game has for us in the coming year, and not try to be too negative like we have been with the last few Call of Duties. Now that's all from me today. If anyone has any opinions about the game going forward, feel free to drop it into the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this surrounding Call of Duty, Black Ops Zombies, don't forget to like and subscribe to come back for more. Catch you all in the next one.